Metro police officers are out in full force in the Johannesburg CBD from this week. The deployment of some 1,800 officers is said to be the largest in recent months. The officers are enforcing city bylaws and traffic regulations. Well, let's find out more about this hour with reporter Manqoba Mchunu. Manqoba, good afternoon. It's quite a busy day for the JMPD. Tell us, how is the project going?
Well, but then that operation that we saw taking place earlier today, we do understand that it has concluded round about this hour. But earlier on, we did see quite a number of traffic officials and officers here at Mary Fitzgerald Square in Newtown. This is where they had held an operation earlier on, a parade, where they were given the marching orders by those senior officials, really to deal with lawlessness in the city and to rid the city of crime. And essentially what we do understand at this point is that this is a deployment by the city to try and clean up the streets of Johannesburg from criminals that are terrorizing the city. And what really we have seen here this afternoon are police officers trying to reclaim the streets of Johannesburg, going to the various hotspots where crime is prevalent in the city. And they have been at various operations, conducting various operations which include roadblocks as well as law enforcement of city bylaws. And I can tell you, Praten, that we have seen quite a number of taxis also being impounded here for not having the right documentation. But we have also seen goods being confiscated from street vendors. But the predominant operation that we have seen are foot patrols by those officers who are stopping and searching people around the streets of Johannesburg. And the city is saying that this is going to be the norm in the Johannesburg CBD to try and end lawlessness. And the city also saying that once, of course, these operations have started, they are going to continue. And the MMC is saying that they are hoping that they will, in fact, be able to deal with some of the problems that are facing the city. But take a listen to what he had to say earlier on.
This is not a once-off. It's from today until there's lawlessness in the inner city. So what we're doing is we're going to deal with the hijacked buildings. We're going to deal with the nightclubs, drug dens, the reckless and negligent driving, all those issues that makes people not to sleep at night in the inner city or in Johannesburg.
Well, we understand that the city is setting an ambitious target of 6 months to eliminate lawlessness. In fact, on Monday, Manqoba, here in the studio, I interviewed Mr. David Tembe. He said Operation Mbuya Mthetho is going to be back with a vengeance.
Indeed, Patan, and that's what they are hoping to do, to actually make the streets of Johannesburg safer. I did speak to the MMC for Public Safety, David Tembe, earlier on, just asking him what is it that he's promising the residents of Johannesburg in terms of the timelines when we can start to see change in the streets of Johannesburg. And that's the assurance that he has given to Johannesburg residents, to say that they can give him about 6 months to really try and deal with the crime in the city. We do know that the Johannesburg Central Police Station features amongst the top 30 stations when it comes to a number of crimes, which include contact crimes, as well as crimes that involve robberies, as well as robberies at properties or burglaries at properties. So those are some of the main crimes that, of course, these officials are setting out to deal with. And they are hoping, Praten, that they could, in fact, make a difference here in Johannesburg in that space of 6 months. But what David Tembe also said is that these foot patrollers are going to be here every day. And in fact, he says that in every street corner that you turn, you are likely to see a Metro Police officer. So they're quite enthusiastic about this deployment, hoping that, in fact, there will be some difference when it comes to crime. We do know that it has been a major issue here in the CBD, with many people telling you that they have experienced crime in this particular area. But take a listen to what David Tembe had to say.
In 6 months' time, you'll see the difference in the inner city. You'll be able to walk. Manqoba, I know you from a long time ago. You'll walk with your cell phone talking in the inner city, Bree Street, in 6 months' time. That's the promise that I promised the city. It will be the most safer place in South Africa. People are saying Cape Town is the safer place. Joburg will be the safer place. Yeah, we're going to have some raids, probably 3 raids per week, to ensure that the buildings comply. You are talking about human trafficking. It is worse, prostitution. They manufacture ARVs there. Even the meat, eggs are being manufactured here in the inner city by people who are not from South Africa. So we need to deal with those things. So 3 raids per week, that will happen, I think, probably from next month, to deal with the hijacked buildings.